this shit that is coming up for you, all this shit that is coming up for you, you have to deal with it, whether you want to or not. Okay, Grand Rising Kings and Queens, welcome back to the party for real this time, okay? I'm not going nowhere, no more, I'm done. Okay, I just had to get this photo on here so I could show. Okay, there we go. There, y'all, it's doing the same thing. Okay, today is November 11th, otherwise known as 11/11, make a wish. It says tonight, November 11th, 11/11 energy portal. Tonight's 11/11 karmic master number means that a much needed energetic doorway has opened for us to reconnect with the universe for love, prosperity, optimism, and fast forward motion. Stop for a moment and use this chance to release your fears, doubts, hurts, low vibe thoughts and emotions, and overcome your flaws. Everything that happens to us is a reflection of what's inside of us. So release low vibrational energies today and envision your future vision to become a reality. Hold on. Okay. This energy portal will manifest our inner vision into reality more rapidly than usual. Stay focused on true love, abundance, positivity, growth, and prosperity. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Also, today is 11/11, but those are 4 1s, and that's 4 1s equal 4. That's foundation. So today, like this said, today is the time to envision your future more clearly. Call abundance and peace and prosperity to you, all the things that you want. Let go of those things that no longer serve you. We've been talking about this for a very, very, very long time. Sorry, kiddos. That was me, Madre. I wasn't gonna answer, but you know I can't do that. So, what? Foundation. Today is a foundation day. So again, we are building foundation. We are walking into everything that is for us. We're letting go of things that no longer serve us. Today is the greatest day to do that because the portal is open. The energy is so clear. Like, it's so clear. It's so heavy. It's so here. And those of us that are tapped in, we feel it. We feel it, because I had a good ass day this morning. I just woke up and got straight to shit. If you follow me on my Instagram, oh wait, this is Instagram. Well, this is also going to be on YouTube. If you follow me on my Facebook, you know that I got some work done this morning. But okay, today is November 11th. We are still in Scorpio season, actively working with things of the shadow. We are actively dealing with all of those things we try to suppress and don't think about, those things that we don't even know it's fucking with us because we literally don't know. It's in the back, it's in the shadow, it's in the background, we don't know. Things are still coming up for us in the shadow season. It's Scorpio season. Scorpio deals with all things of the shadow, things of the mind, things of deep hidden type shit. And I have a Scorpio moon, and it's just be like, I have a Scorpio moon and I have a Cancer sun. I'm very intuitive, and so I be knowing a lot of shit about a lot of people. Like, I don't be even wanting to know this shit or trying to know this shit. All I gotta do is really sit around you for like 30 minutes and I could read the fuck out of you. It's because I have that Scorpio moon. That Scorpio moon see shit. The Scorpio moon see all that shadowy shit. All the shit motherfuckers be trying to hide. They be trying to deflect off of. All the shit that they put. I literally read people. I can see through people, bro. And that's why a lot of times my friends don't like bringing me around their friends, because I be seeing straight through, but I see straight through shit like a motherfucker. I be like, oh yeah, so she don't like you for real, or he not really your friend, bro. Like, that's some play shit. I be seeing through motherfuckers because I got that shadow moon. I have that shadow moon. What? I didn't even ask anything. Well, it didn't show itself. And if it's meant, y'all know what I say. If it's meant, it'll show itself. Okay, so what do we need to know for today? It is November 11th, 2020. We are still actively in, I keep saying shadow season. Basically, we are actively in Scorpio season, dealing with things with the shadow, dealing with things that are kind of unknown, but not really unknown. We just forgot them or we suppressed them. We try not to think about them. So what do y'all have for us today? What is the energy for the collective? What should we focus on today, being that it's such a heavy energy portal going on today? You see how they did that? Because the first card I didn't pull, so they said, well, now we're going to throw 2 cards in your lap. I just don't understand. They don't even let me pull the cards anymore. Gosh. Oh, shit, honey. That's why they didn't let me pull them, because they knew what the fuck they were doing. We got a 9. Dang, didn't we just have the 6 of Swords, y'all? We just pulled the 6 of Swords like 2 days ago, maybe. Okay, we got the 9 of... Dang, we got the 9 of Swords and the 6 of Swords. 9 is completion. 6 is wisdom. The 9 of Swords represents uneasy, like, kind of almost like nightmares. Literally, literally, 9 of Swords represents things of the shadow. Things that are fucking with you. Things that are in your unconscious. Look at him. He's having nightmares. He's having restless nights. He can't sleep. Something's on his mind. Something is coming up for him. Like, wow. Wow. And it's a 9 of Swords. That represents completion. We know sword is an activity. Swords represent activity, and it's an air card. The element is air. We also have this 6 of Swords, which is also an air element, and it represents activity. Swords represent activity. Again, a new journey is happening, whether it be metaphorical or whether it be physical. You have to be ready for whatever this journey is about to come. But we've got this 9 of Swords first, making me feel like some type of uneasiness is coming up for us right now, which will make sense because, again, it's shadow season. So, dang, I did not know I was going to have 2. What? Why would it do that? What? I'm sorry, y'all. This computer does what it wants to do sometimes. I did not know I was going to have 3 cards today, or else I would have prepared for 3 cards. I be trying to have the tabs open already so y'all don't have to wait for me to get there. But, you know, I can't control everything. I can't believe we pulled these cards. Well, we didn't pull them. They fell. They threw themselves at us. I always be saying, if the cards are meant, they'll show themselves. It's so funny. We got to watch what we say, man. Words are really fucking powerful. Words are really freaking powerful. Oh, I'm so excited, y'all. I'm so excited. The 9 of Swords is the Nightmare card. Hold on. Don't get scared, y'all, because you know how y'all be doing. You know how y'all be getting scared. Hold on. Calm down. It's not that bad. It's never bad, actually, because we are divinely protected, okay? We're protected. It's never bad. Okay. Let's go with the things that we see in here. It's just swords. That's the only symbolism I see in here. They don't have no symbolism for bed or nothing like that. So the only symbolism that we have in here really is the sword. Like I said, that's activity, the elements of air. This 9 card, which represents completion, it says 9 of Swords, the Nightmare card. The 9 of Swords is, in my opinion, one of the most traumatic cards in the deck. It shows that your fears are getting the best of you, and because like energy always attracts like energy, you're likely to draw into your life that very thing you fear the most. In the upright position, it represents nightmares, worries, and or depression. The number is 9. The element is air. We already said that. The symbol is sword, which represents activity. This card is speaking to those shadow aspects. It's speaking to those fears, those things that we try to run from, the things that we try to suppress, all the things that that is literally in the shadow, that we don't acknowledge, that we don't pay attention to, that we don't focus on, that we just be like, oh, well, it'll resolve itself, or time heals all wounds, you know, that type of shit. But it's literally telling you that you can't do that. You can't just let shit linger in the past, linger in the background. You can't just let shit settle. You can't let shit just settle at the bottom, because it says your fears are going to get the best of you. And that like energy attracts like energy. What did this card tell us to do today? Stop for a moment and use this chance to release your fears, your doubts, your hurts, and your low vibrational thoughts. This is the time. This card is telling you now is the time to let go of that shit, because if not, that shit's gonna get the best of you. It's eating. Somebody is eating your fears and what you're scared of, and you want to move forward, but you don't know how to, or you're scared to move forward because of what people are thinking, or whatever is holding you back. that shit is really about to eat you the fuck alive. And all you're doing right now, especially in this time, especially in today, because the portal is open, all you're doing is attracting more energy like that. All you're doing is attracting more people who worry. All you're doing is attracting more people who have self-doubt. All you're doing is attracting more negative, low vibrational energies. Now is the time to release that shit. Now is the time to release. Well, 9 is the time to release that shit too, because 9 is the number of completion. 9 is the number of completion. It says the 9 of Swords, in my opinion, is one of the most traumatic cards in the deck. Let that shit go. Deal with your fears. Acknowledge your fears. Sit with that shit. And really, like, a lot of times, our fears be so irrational. A lot of times, our fears be so fucking irrational. Like, if you really just sit with that shit and talk it out, you're going to be like, oh, this is not what I thought it was. This is not what I thought it was. This is not what I made it to be. We complicate shit. We complicate shit a whole lot. We get in our heads a whole lot, and we make shit worse than what it is. We traumatize ourselves. It says, it's showing you that your fears are getting the best of you. Your fears are getting the best of you. And because like energy always attracts like energy, you're likely to draw into your life that very thing that you fear the most. Let go of fear. Let go of being scared of the unknown. Walk into that shit with grace and authority, and knowing that it's yours, knowing that you're supposed to be on this path. Because again, we follow up with the 6 of Swords that tells us, prepare for a journey, be it physical or metaphorical. The 6 of Swords can indicate that you need to move away from something, whether you want to or not. You have to come to terms with this and realize that what you're leaving behind is not as wonderful as what you are moving towards, even though there's going to be some remorse around the decision. Travel, transition, moving towards wholeness. The number is 6. That's wisdom. The element is air. The symbol is staff, which represents magician, which represents the power. You have the power. Sword, again, that represents activity. So it's you gotta do action. You have to actively work to release these fears. You have to actively work to get through your trauma. You have to actively work to accomplish your healing. This shit don't just happen. You have to act. And it's both. These are both sword cards. That's activity. That's action. That's doing. You have to do. You're about to be on a journey. You're about to make a journey. But the thing is, these fears, whatever is in this shadow, whichever is in y'all coming up for you in your shadow work, whether it be fears, self-doubt, lack of confidence, ego, what are some other things that we deal with? Attitude problems. We get in our way with our attitude problems. Hating, being hateful towards people, jealousy, all this shit that comes up in the spirit, in the shadow, all this shit that comes up in shadow work is going to hold you back from your fucking journey if you don't deal with it. If you don't actively, Swords, activity, if you don't actively deal with this shit, if you don't, again, remember, on Monday, we were supposed to, because today's Wednesday, right? Yeah, okay. On Monday, we were supposed to be actively sitting with ourselves to learn ourselves, to see what comes up in the shadow, to understand who we are, what we want, what we don't want. We were supposed to sit with self on Monday to figure out all this shadowy shit. And now the card is telling us on 11/11, when the portal is so fucking open, deal with that shit. Because it says your fears are getting the best of you. Woo, child. Your fears are getting the best of you, and you're just going to keep attracting that shit. What you put out into the world is what you get. That energy you emit into the world is the energy that you get back. Whatever you give the universe is going to give you 10 times back. So if you putting out fear, hate, jealousy, ego, you putting out low self-confidence, you just putting out all this shit that's gonna bear bad fruit. Again, remember 11/11, you putting all this bad shit into your foundation. You are literally building foundation on fears, on arrogance, on hate, on jealousy. What you think is gonna come from your foundation? What do you think is gonna come from your foundation if these are the seeds that you're sowing? So the card is telling you 9 is completing. Complete that shit. Finish your journey. Finish this traumatic work that you got to do. Finish this shadow work. Deal with the shit that's coming up for you on Monday. Deal with the shit that hit you in your face. Don't beat yourself up. Never beat yourself up. Never beat yourself up, honey. Never beat yourself up, because that's not what we're about. We're not about beating ourselves up. We're not about talking down on ourselves. We're not about looking down on ourselves. What we are about is healing ourselves. What we are about is dealing with that shit. What we are about is reflecting on self. That's what we're about. We're not about all the low vibrational shit. Get rid of that low vibrational shit, okay? Deal with that shit. Don't beat yourself up. There's nothing wrong with whatever came up. If jealousy came up, if hate came up, if anger came up, if fear came up for you, greed came up for you, whatever shadow shit came up for you when you sat with yourself on Monday, or whatever is coming up for you right now, sit with that shit. Don't run from it. Don't let it scare you. Don't talk down on yourself. Don't beat yourself up about it. We all got shadow shit we got to deal with. We all have shadow shit that we need to actively deal with, okay? You're not alone. So no, don't beat yourself up about it, but deal with that shit. Sit with that shit, because it's saying that this shit is getting the best of you. You're letting your fears get the best of you. You're letting that shadow shit getting the best of you. Whatever happened Monday for us, whatever came up Monday when we sat with ourselves and observed ourselves, we're letting that shit get the best of us. We're letting that shit eat at us. And that's not the goal. The goal is to not examine self and then be disappointed in self or hate self. That's not the goal here. When you reflect and you meditate on self and you get to know self, the goal is not to talk down on self or to condemn self. That's not the goal. The goal is to help self, to heal self, to become whole. Because what does this number 6 says? 6 of Swords says we're moving towards wholeness. We're moving towards wholeness, transition. There's a journey. So no, the goal is not to beat myself up when I find out that I got this shadow shit that I'm dealing with. The goal is to, okay, sit with it and be like, why do I have this shadow shit that I need to deal with? What's going on? What fuels this? What fuels the trauma? What fuels the fears? What fuels this worry, this depression? What is fueling my nightmares? Figure that out, deal with it, and then you're going to be on your way to a new journey, whether it be physical or metaphorical. Whether it's time for you to move to another place or go to another job or leave a relationship, whatever that is, whatever travel is, whatever transition is coming up about, whatever moving towards wholeness is coming about, it can only be accomplished when you deal with this, when you deal with this shadow aspect. And it's so crazy because literally the cards, y'all, have been saying the same thing all week. Sit with self and deal with self. And then yesterday we got the intuition card. You can only trust yourself if you have sat with self to learn self and to know self. And this part right here, with all these fears and these worries and this whatever is coming up for you in shadow shit, you shouldn't be scared for that. You shouldn't be scared by that, because yesterday you was told to trust yourself. And I think that I think it's pretty interesting that we got yesterday the card that tells us to trust ourselves. Now and today, or the day later, which is today, we have this card that's telling us worry and fear and things of the nature are coming up, and it's starting to eat away at us. Yesterday we were told to trust ourselves. Take that same energy into today. Whatever is coming up for you, don't let that shit eat at you. Do not let that shit make you feel no type of way. Don't let that shit fuck with your self-confidence and or your self-worth. That's not what it's supposed to do. Shadow work, although it hurts, don't get me wrong, I know shadow work hurts. It feels uneasy because all this shit is coming up. You gotta deal with this shit. The shit that you didn't even know you had to deal with. It's shit that you thought you dealt with, but it's still coming up for you. It's still right there. It's literally, shadow work is like, it's like that thing right there in the back of your ear, like that you don't want to really like acknowledge, but it's right there and you feel it and you know it's right there and you got to deal with it. You got to deal with it. You have to deal with it, because it's telling you you have a new journey that's coming about, whether it be physical or metaphorically, and you have to go through this journey. You have to, whether you want to or not. It's indicating to you that you need to move away from something, whether you want to or not. All this shit that is coming up for you, you have to deal with it, whether you want to or not. You have to, because if you don't, it's going to eat you away, and you are going to miss out on this elevation for your next life. You're going to miss out on getting into that new chapter. You're going to miss out on the next level, the next prosperity, the next abundance, the next love, the next the next confidence, the next, we got so much shit that we're trying to do collectively. There's a lot of Black people finding their way, working in their powers. They're finding their businesses, what they want to do, their passion, and all that shit. We cannot elevate to the next level of our gifts, our talents, our careers, our businesses. We cannot elevate until we deal with this shit that is holding us back. We cannot elevate until we deal with the shadow shit that's coming up for us. Literally, this card is saying something is worrying you. Something is worrying you. Something, y'all. And then, look, y'all. This shit is hilarious, honey. Look, y'all. 4 plus 5 equals what? What's 4 plus 5? 9. 4 plus 5 is what? 9. Y'all, like, it be too much shit that connects for us to continue to play with ourselves. It be too much shit that connects for us to continue to walk this mediocre life like, oh, la-di-da, woe is me type shit. No, don't let that shit just take over you. Whatever came up in shadow, don't let it control you. Do not let shadow now overtake you. That's not what the fuck is supposed to be going on. That's not what's happening. I didn't tell y'all to sit with self, or cards didn't tell y'all to sit with self so that you could now like sit in self-pity and be like, oh, woe is me. No, that's not what was supposed to happen. Whatever came up, you were supposed to deal with that shit because you're better than that shit. That's why that shit was in shadow. It's shadow work for a reason. You gotta dig at that shit. You gotta go through that shit. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm not saying that it's easy. What I am saying is that it's worth it. What I am saying is that it's necessary. What I am saying is that it's literally pivotal to your existence. Dealing with shadow work is literally it's the choice between life or death. Literally dealing with your shadow work, dealing with the fears, the anger, the sadness, the hatred, the jealousy, whatever. That is literally the difference between life or death. Literally dealing with your shit is literally the difference between life or death. And I seen the video that Kevin Hart said, when like a traumatic experience happens in people's lives and they don't deal with it, they stay stuck. They stay stuck at that point of whatever the trauma happened to them. So just imagine people that have traumatic experiences that happened to them when they were fucking 5 years old. Mentally, spiritually, emotionally, they are stuck at the 5-year-old level if they don't never deal with that shit. That's like some of us. Some of us probably didn't experience real trauma like that until we was 21. Okay, but now you're 35. And you're still operating on that 21-year-old level because you're not dealing with that shit. You didn't deal with that fear, the trauma, the hurt, whatever came up for you at 21, whatever happened to you at 21. You didn't deal with that shit. So now you're aging, but you're not evolving. You understand? There's a difference. You're aging, but you're not evolving because you letting this shadow shit stay shadow shit. You're letting that shadow shit stay in the shadow shit. And it's just collecting dust. It's just collecting dust. It's collecting dust. It's collecting dust. It's collecting all types of shit. Like, and the more you keep going, the more you keep aging and not dealing with that shit, the more it eats away at you. The more it eats away at you. The longer it eats away at you. And then when you finally start to, you really want to go deal with that shit, now it's a mountain of dust to get through it. Now it's so much work to get through it. And that's why people don't ever deal with shit, because when they really get ready to deal with the shit, now it's too much. It's too much to get to it. It's too much work to get to it. It's too much work to get to it. But have you dealt with that shit when it first came up for you? When you sat down and reflected with yourself, and when that shit first came up for you, if you would have dealt with it right then and there, it would be easy breezy. It would be literally easy sailings. We complicate shit. It's not that hard. I mean, okay, it hurts like hell. It hurts, but it's not that hard. Okay, I'm not saying that this shit doesn't hurt. I'm not saying that it's easy. But it's not that hard. I'm not saying that it's going to be a walk in the park. But later on, it will. Later on, because you have to understand, 11-11, we're building foundation. The things that we do now is for foundation. We are building foundation. So, yes, it may hurt. Okay, it may not be so easy, but later on in life, it's not going to be that hard because you already dealt the work. You already laid the foundation. You dealt with that shit. And don't get me wrong, we're going to always have shit to deal with. Shadow season is like, we're going to always have shadow shit to deal with. However, we're not going to have shadow shit from 5 years old to deal with and shadow shit from 21 years old to deal with, because we already dealt with that shit. We dealt with that shit. So now when we start having shadow work, when we learn how to sit with self and observe and realize the shit that's coming up for us, it'll be easier to start dealing with that shit. It won't be that much shit in the shadow, because we're dealing with that shit as it comes. We're dealing with that shit as it comes. We're dealing with that shit as it comes up to us. So yeah, it is going to always be shit in the shadow, because that's just life. That's just how we live. That's just realistic. We are humans. It's always shit. And I also think that, it's a sort of defense mechanism for us to put shit off in the shadow, for us to suppress shit. I kind of do feel like that's a defense mechanism. However, when we start learning and evolving and growing, we know that we can protect ourselves from shit that happened in the past. We do learn ways to protect ourselves while we're going through our shadow work, etc., etc. But these are all things that you learn from over time, just your own spiritual journey and how to work through that shit. I want to recommend this book called Momentum by, her name is Quinn something, but I'll post the link when I do this on YouTube. I'll post the link in the description where you can find the book. But the book is called Momentum, and it's, do I have the book? Hold on, I think I have the book. Let me go check. I'll be right back. I knew I had the book. I just didn't know where I had the book. Okay. Momentum. I'm actually going to do some work in this today. Momentum. It's called Momentum. It says, a shadow work guide and journal. A shadow work guide and journal. I'll read the back to y'all because I really recommend this book. It says, dealing with childhood trauma can be difficult. It's a subject that we attempt to avoid and we try to suppress, even though it lurks around almost every corner, following you around, seeping into your relationships, making itself comfortable in your workplace, and inviting itself over strictly for your discomfort. A shadow waiting in the background for the perfect opportunity to show you who you really are. Remember, we were supposed to reflect and sit with ourselves on Monday and find out who we really are. Wait, hold on. Where you at? Where we at? Oh. Waiting for you to give it attention and recognize it for its powerful effect in your life. A shadow so loud and bold that it sometimes speaks for you, possibly ruining opportunities, friendships, relationships, jobs, etc. It wants you to see it and know that it's only following you because it wants to heal you, and vice versa. Shadow work is a must when it comes to our desire to heal ourselves and the people around us. We cannot successfully embark on our goals and our journey and our dreams when there are characteristics that are not of us, in us. Dark places that we haven't healed, gloomy places that we haven't visited, and eerie places that we don't even know exist. These experiences result in the way we act and react to the world around us, and how we handle challenging situations. And whether they be financial, mental, emotional, or physical, the shadow has its hands in it. Momentum, this book, will be the perfect tool to use to guide you through a difficult, uncomfortable, ugly, yet healing and blissful therapeutic release. Release. Today is the day to release. It says, it's within the magic of healing the shadow where you'll find your true, authentic self that's been waiting for you all along. That's why I said her name is Quinn Barber. Quinn Barber. I'm gonna write this in the comments, y'all, because you can go to her page at Quinn. Oh, it's not gonna let me post her. I thought it would just pop up when I typed her name in. But okay, I will like I said, I'll put that in the description for y'all below. And then for y'all on my Instagram, I'll make a story and then I'll tag her in it. And then you can go to her link in bio and purchase this book. I think it was like $22 or something like. It wasn't more than $30. And even if it was, it's a tool to better yourself. It's a tool to get to the root of that shadow work. She literally has like work, like actual work in here, workbook. Like there's stuff where you could write in here. She asks you all types of questions she wants you to write. It's different affirmations. It's different I'll read y'all the fucking chapters. The chapters: acceptance, trust, validation, anger, sadness, feel, cycles, forgiveness, reflection, compassion, tranquility, healing crystals, mantras and mantras, breathing exercises, great escape. So the great escapes in your state. She also lists healing, not healing, but she also lists like, I don't want to call them mental institutions, but like clinics, you know, where you can find therapists. And for all 50 states, she has a different clinic in here for all 50 states. And then the last chapter is homemade healing. So like, I really recommend this book, especially right now when it's telling us, and it's a time for us to deal with shadow work, and it's a time for us to deal with ourselves and to let this shit come up and not eat us alive, because it says your fears are getting the best of you. It's the time right now to not let this shit get the best of you, but work that shit out, work through that shit. Get you some tools to help you figure that shit out. Start investing in yourself. Start investing in your shadow work. Start investing in your own healing. Because if you don't do that shit, nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody's going to come along and take your hand and say, "Hell, come on, let's go heal you. Let's go figure it out. Let's go help you." It's nobody's job to help you heal but yourself. You have to do it yourself. You have to want it yourself. You have to be so tired of waking up in the middle of the night being worried and scared. You have to be so sick of this. You have to be so tired of doing things the same way. You have to be so tired of running and so tired of letting your fears get the best of you that you are ready to make that choice, whether you want to or not. You got to be ready to do the work. You have to be ready. It's activity. You have to be ready to be active. You have to be ready to be active in your own healing. You have to be active in your own evolution. You have to be active in dealing with in your shadow work. This shit doesn't just happen overnight, and it doesn't just happen because you wanted to. You got to put the fucking work. You have to put the work in. You got to. That's the only way that you can get to this new journey. And then the reality of it is, some of us don't really have a choice. Like, unfortunately, it's fucked up to say that, but some of us don't have a choice. Some of us have destinies that are just too fucking important. We have like missions in life that are just too fucking grand. And so life will force you to deal with your shit. Some of us, literally, life will force us to deal with our shit. Because our purposes is too big. We here for a real, like, don't get me wrong, everybody is here for a reason. Everybody has a mission. Everybody has a goal. But some of us, some of our missions, some of our destinies is like life. It's like worldwide. Some of our shit is to impact generations. Some of our shit is to impact literally communities, the world type shit. And so if you don't deal with that shit on your own, some of us, this is not for everybody, don't get me wrong, because some of us, unfortunately, the reality of it is some people can live mediocre ass lives and just smooth sailings for the rest of their life. That's not your story. That's not my story. I know for sure that's not my story. I tried that shit and life forced me to fucking level up. You don't want to be forced to deal with your shit. You don't want to be forced to deal with your shit. You know how, like, okay, you know, like when your parents tell you to do something and then you don't do it. So now they gotta make you do it, or now they gotta oversee you doing it. And now it could have been like, you could have just did it on your own, and it wouldn't have been as hard, wouldn't have been as frustrating as it is now, but you didn't listen. So now I gotta force you to do it. Now I gotta stand here and watch you do it. We don't want that. We don't want God or our ancestors or the universe or our spirit guides to have to force us into dealing with our shit, into healing, into evolving. Especially if we know, some of us know without a shadow of a doubt, that we are bigger and better and we have greater purposes than this mediocre shit that we're living. These mediocre ass, half-ass lives that we live in. A lot of us know better and we just still sitting. Still letting shadow shit build up. Still letting shit build up. Still walking around like ain't shit, like we ain't gotta fix shit. Still walking around like we perfect. And then something gonna happen where that shit gonna hit you smack dab in the middle of your fucking face. Like losing your father at 25. Like, come on, shit happens. Or even my dad himself losing his or transitioning at 20, or how old was he? Transitioning at the age of 48 was because he didn't want to deal with his shit. My dad had so much shit to deal with. He didn't want to deal with his shit. So life was like, okay, you're not doing nothing. You're not dealing with self. You're not walking in your purpose. You're not healing that shadow shit. You're not dealing with that shadow shit. So, okay, well, we might as well just go ahead and bring you home. Literally, my dad was my whole entire life. Mind you, I'm 26. So up until last year, up until 25, my entire life, 25 years, my daddy was 200 plus pounds. We'll say 250 plus pounds. My entire life. When he passed away, he was 120 something. He was smaller than me. I want to say like maybe 128 or 136, something like that. It was one something, but he was younger. He was smaller than me. That shit ate at him. Those fears was getting the best of him. That trauma ate at him. That shit literally ate his life force. Literally. The shadow ate his life force. It took away his life force. Literally. If you are 250 plus pounds for 25 years and then all of a sudden the year you die or the year you transition, you're 130, you're 120. What does that tell you? That shit ate you away. That shit literally sucked your life force. It took your life away from you. Your fears got the best of you. Shadow work got the best of you because you refused to deal with that shit. So they was like, okay. Like I've been telling y'all, okay, well, if you don't want to do the work, now it's on the next generation. I'm the next generation. That shit falls in my lap. That shit falls in my lap. And if I don't do the work and if I don't deal with that shit, guess whose lap is gonna fall into next? My kids' lap. And then their kids' lap. And then so on and so forth. Somebody gotta do the work. Somebody gotta eventually say, you know what? This ain't the life for me. This is not what I want for my kids. This is not what I want for myself. It's time to complete that shit. It's time to heal that shit. It's time to work with that shit. It's time to get through that shit because I got bigger and better things to do. I got a journey waiting for me, whether it be physical or metaphorical. I got somewhere to go. I got something to do. And it's like I said, you're either going to live so you got 3 options. This is the 3 options. 3 is the number. You either going to live a mediocre ass life for the rest of your life. Cool, do you? Or they are going to transition you from this world to the next because you're not doing shit with yourself. You're not doing shit with yourself. Especially if you have a child. If you have a child and they know that you have the next generation is on this planet, they will take you. They will take your ass. And this is not to scare nobody. This is not to invoke fear in anybody. Trust me, because death is nothing for us to be fearful of. Death is just another cycle. It's just a part of the cycle. It's another step in the cycle. This is not to provoke fear in anybody. However, the reality of it is, if you're not going to do what you're supposed to be here for, if you're not going to come and serve your purpose, fulfill your destiny, why the fuck are you here? Why the fuck are they waking you up every morning? Why the fuck are they giving you breath every morning? Why the fuck are they making way for you to feed yourself, to feed your family, if you're not doing shit? Nobody got sent here to just do what they want to do. Well, you did get sent here to do what you want to do. In certain contexts, obviously. But you didn't just get sent here to fuck off your life. You fuck off your purpose. That's not what you got sent here for. And if they know that you got another generation that's after you, if they know that there's somebody else that can catch the torch, if they know that there's another willing soul, they will take you home. They will bring you home because obviously you'll accomplish more in the spirit realm when you can be a guide, when you can be an ancestor, when you can be a spiritual warrior, when you can be a protector. Obviously you'll get more done in the spirit realm, so let's just go ahead and take you home. Let's just go ahead and take you home. So you'll either live a mediocre ass life, they will take your ass home, or they will force you to level the fuck up like they did me. They will force you to level the fuck up. They will force you to walk in your power. They will force you to deal with that shadow shit like they did me. When my daddy passed, like that was it. Like that was it. That was the straw for me. Like I had already started my spiritual journey in January of 2019 when I met my professor, who is now my therapist slash mentor. And he's still my professor because I still be going to his classes. But that's when my spiritual journey really started. And when I got back reunited with my god sister Joyce. Those people, Joyce, my god sister, and Dr. Kyles, my professor slash mentor slash therapist, they were very, very, very pivotal people. And they still are very pivotal people in my evolution and my spiritual growth. So when 2019 started, I was already well on my way to my evolution. But I was still playing. And then too, it's not just me. I cannot just blaming this all on me because, again, like I said, my daddy had his own work to do. But for me, they was like, oh, okay. Okay, so yeah, what we gonna do is we gonna just kill two birds with one stone because he playing with himself. So we just gonna go ahead and bring him home because he gonna serve more purpose on the other side. And then she playing with herself. So yeah, we just gonna use this to push her forward. We gonna use this to double up. We gonna use this to strengthen her, to make her go harder, to make her go stronger, to make her elevate. And then, like I said, my daddy, he's more powerful in the spirit realm. He got more protection in the spirit realm. He's obviously, they thought, and obviously it's true, he's got more power. He's doing more work in the spirit realm than he ever was doing in the physical realm. But the thing is, why do that to yourself? Why limit yourself to an early transition when you still got so much shit to do here in the world? Do you understand how powerful it is to have one generation that's healed and another generation that's healed and another generation that's healed all on the earth at the same time? Do you understand how much power is in that? Do you understand how much power is behind that? There's so much power behind that shit. So like I said, there's three things that's going to happen. You got three options. Live a mediocre ass life for the rest of your life. So be it, if that's what you want. Don't do the work and they're going to take your ass home. Because clearly, you're going to do more work here in the realm with your ancestors because clearly you just don't want to do the work down there. So, okay, let's bring you up to a new playing field. Let's bring you up to a new environment. That's what they do. Or they'll force you into that shit where it will hurt so fucking bad when you could have just easily, willingly chose to do the shit yourself. There's three options because they told you. Honestly, you don't really have a choice. I mean, you kind of got those three choices, but those aren't really good choices. Like, I mean, who wants to choose any of those? Like, who wants to live mediocre for the rest of their lives? Who wants to transition early? And then who wants to be forced into that shit? Nobody. Those aren't good choices. I don't like any of those choices. So do the shit yourself. Do it on your own. Do the work. It's not that, I can't keep saying it. It's really not that hard though. It is. It's not easy. It does hurt, but it's not that hard. It's not that hard. Pick up a fucking book and start reading. Start elevating your mind. Start expanding your consciousness. Fucking pick up a journal. Start writing down how the fuck you feel. Start writing down that shit. You know what? Today, I wanted to kill that bitch. Because she let that shit out. Because the more you hold that shit in, it's shadow. It's shadow. It's shadow. You just building shadow. That shadow is growing and growing and growing and growing. And then, you know what? By the time you realize it, you turn around at 35, that motherfucking shadow is like 10 fucking feet tall. And you clearly just 5'7", 5'6", but that motherfucker is now it's David and Goliath. Now you gotta use all your energy. Now you gotta use all your power to fight that shit when you could have just dealt with that shit as it came up for you. You know what? My child really stressed me the fuck out today. I wanted to send her or him to his daddy house. I was just so stressed the fuck out. I didn't know what to do. But you know what? I feel better. I'm releasing this shit. I'm writing this shit out. I feel so much better. Whew, you know what? I understand my child didn't know what was going on. I understand my child didn't know what they was doing, what they was saying. They just being a kid. Whew, I feel better. Whew, thank you, self, for creating a journal to let yourself out. Thank you, self, for coming to this journal to release yourself. Whew, thank you, self, for listening to yourself. Whew. Thank you, self, for not judging yourself when you have these negative thoughts about your child when the society would judge you. Whew. Thank you, self. I love you. That was fucking 5-10 minutes. That was 10 minutes to deal with some shadow shit versus 10 years. That's what I'm saying. It's not that hard. Y'all, we make this shit hard. We complicate this shit so much. And I don't know what else to tell y'all. Like, I be sitting on this motherfucker giving y'all my own personal life experiences, like I be really trying to make that shit so plain as day. I don't know what else to tell y'all. Like I just do the work. Do the fucking work, or forever hold your motherfucking peace. Because that's what's gonna happen. If you don't do the work, your peace is gonna be held the fuck up. You're gonna be having nightmares. You're gonna be worried. You're gonna be depressed. That shit's gonna eat you alive. Or yeah, do the work or forever hold your fucking peace. Literally, you're holding your peace up. You're delaying yourself. This card number 6 in the inverted position, it says delays, fear of change, unwillingness to move forward. Although we did not pull it in the inverted position, those inverted keywords are still very prominent and still very important to the reading today. Because, like I said, deal with that shit or forever hold your fucking peace. Deal with that shit or delay yourself. Deal with that shit or just stay stuck. It's so simple. It's so simple. The choice is yours. The choice is yours. And the thing is, the choice is yours until you choose nothing. Then the choice becomes God's. Then the choice becomes the ancestors. Then the choice becomes your guides. Because now they have to step in and take over because you're not doing what the fuck you're supposed to do. So now they're going to either, when I say the mediocre life, they'll strip you of your rights. They'll strip you of your title. They will strip you of your heir to the throne. They will strip you of your birthright. Oh yes, please believe it. They will strip you of your birthright. The fuck? You think you're going to keep playing with them? You think you're going to keep playing with yourself? You think you're going to keep playing with your legacy? They'll just strip you for your shit. So then you can live a mediocre life. That's cool. That's what you wanted anyways, right? Okay, cool. Go live with the peasants. Go ahead. That's what you want. You'll never be able to enter the throne again. Or they'll choose to transition you. They'll choose to transition you because they care about you enough to not let you live a mediocre life. I think them transitioning you to the next level is showing you more grace than if they were to allow you to live this, to continue to stay here and live a mediocre, miserable ass life. I think that's showing more grace. So they'll strip you of your birthright, kick you out of the kingdom. Cool, go sit with the peasants. They'll take your life force away, literally, and have you transition into the next realm. Now you're an ancestor. Now you're a spirit guide. Or they will force you into that shit. They will force you into that shit. They will sit you on a throne and tell you to walk in your power now. We tried to prepare you. We tried to warn you. We tried to give you the tools. You didn't want to listen, so you know what? Just go ahead. Go sit on the throne. It's your turn now. Go sit on the throne. Figure that shit out. Literally, they'll figure that shit out. They will force you into the role. They will force you into the role. Okay, go sit on the throne now. Figure that shit out. We tried to help you. You didn't want to do the work. You didn't want to do the work on your own. So now you got to do it. Now, whether you want to or not, it's time. Now you got to do it. And be like, why though? Why do all that? Why let it get that far when you can consciously, actively choose to today do the work? Choose to today. Bro, you can go get a journal from the dollar store for $1. $1. If you can't afford this $20 or this $30 book right now, trust me, I'm not judging. I definitely understand. I get it. We all been there, and it's a pandemic. I get it. I ain't judging nobody. If you can't afford this book right now, cool. Go to the dollar store and get you a motherfucking dollar journal and a pen or a pencil. There you go. Start. And that thing, motherfuckers be making excuses. Oh, I can't afford. I can't. It's always something you could do. It's always something. It's always something. It's always something. I used to be one of those people where I need, waiting for it to be perfect before you did anything. It's never going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. So just do it. Just start. Just do the fucking work. Why do I gotta keep telling y'all this? Because the cards are telling me to. Ashe. I am so grateful for my gift to share with my people. I am here for my people. And I just want my people to be better. I just want my people to do better. I just want my people to live, be past the age of 48. I want my people to succeed. I want my people to walk with their healed children. I want my healed generation to walk with their healed children, and their healed great-grandchildren, etc., etc. Like, we can do it, y'all. We can do it. We have the work. Like, our generation is very, very blessed. We have it. We just got to we have to choose it. We have to choose more. We have to choose better. We have to choose life. We have to choose life. Like I said, the difference between doing the work and not doing the work is literally life and death. Choose life. Please, choose life. I ain't got nothing else to say, y'all. So, yeah. Peace, love, light, blessings to you all. And as always, literally, the marathon continues. It's a marathon. You're never going to reach the finish line. It's a marathon. The marathon continues, nigga.